guys, Harold Osmer, Automotive Book Reviews. Today we have Art of the Corvette. It's by Randy Leffingwell, photography by Randy Leffingwell, and Tom Loeser. I'm going to guess that you Corvette guys out there already have this book, or you certainly know of this book. And if you don't have this book, you should probably have this book. I'm telling you, this is just an amazing thing. Even for guys that are not really into Corvettes like myself, I learned a lot by taking a look at this book. Now, of course, there are a lot of history books and history of the Corvette and design of it's the most popular collector car there is. So there's a ton of these books out there. What really makes this one stand out is the artistry, therefore the title, that Randy Leffingwell and Tom Loeser put into photographing these cars. They have for each of the subsequent models along the way, or new design changes and whatnot, there's a blurb of text that talks about who the designers were, what GM was thinking, what they weren't thinking. You have sales figures, options listed, number of things sold, all these kind of stuff gets figured into there. So you learn quite a bit without getting beat over the head with statistics. But the other part is, going along the way, they have pictures of the first Corvette, and then they have pictures all the way through for each design bit of drama that came along, all the way up to and including the one in 2014. That's as far as this book reaches. The text in here describes a little bit about how the car developed, what was different each year, and that sort of thing. But again, the book is the art of the Corvette, okay? So it's not meant to be a total history of it, even though a lot of that appears here. What comes across is, you start looking at this and you realize, when you get beyond the text and looking at the interesting lines and how the fender changed from this year to that, and the hood design has a scoop now instead of a thing, and there's a spoiler here. You get looking at all that, and they point that out with their text. But what you really come to is you start looking at it and say, well, how did they even shoot that? How did they light that? I mean, I have a camera. I can point and shoot as good as anybody, but you can't light it up, and you can't shoot it the way these two guys have done. When Leffingwell and Loeser get their magic working, and it's just unbelievable. Even the cover shot and various pieces throughout here, like I say, when you look past it just being a Corvette, and you start looking at it and wondering, how did they even do that? That's where the title really comes into play, The Art of the Corvette. And you get 255 pages, and I guess it covers every model change along the way from the very beginning in 1953. They do talk about the various designers that were involved, from Harley Earl to Zora Duntov, Dave McClellan, Joe Cafaro. There's a whole bunch of these names show up in here, and they're names that even, again, a guy like me, I've heard of these guys, and so it's neat to put them into context of the single largest collector car there is, and it's the Corvette. Now, I've met Randy Leffingwell a time or two along the way. I wouldn't say we're friends. We're certainly friendly, and each time I talk to him, it feels as though we're just continuing the conversation from the last time we saw one another, which could have been over a year ago. I get that same sort of feeling when I look at his photographs. He's changing his technique along the way. He's developing and growing without getting weird about it. You know, you got how many filters in your Photoshop folder? I mean, he doesn't bother with that. And to his credit, he points out in the last couple of pages in this how they went about lighting these cars to be able to get the underside and the above. A lot of these shots that I've shown you here illustrate some of that. Take a look at that and try and figure it out for yourself. How in the world did they do this? Well, that's what you need the book for. Take a look over here. That'll take you to my website. It'll show you right up there. Here's a link. It will say, here's a link to order the book through Motorbooks International. Hats off to Motorbooks International for putting out works like this. The Art of the Corvette by Randy Leffingwell, with photography by Randy Leffingwell and Tom Loeser. You won't be disappointed. It's only 50 bucks. It's a nice, heavy book. For a book that deals with art, it actually does it good justice. There you go. There's Harold Osmer, Automotive Book Reviews.